flat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX.
J-Way.
I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless.
I'm gone.
Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck.
Give me that.
To the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, Joe, and I got my boy B. Foster, man. It's been a minute, man. Before we get into this show, I want you to all to subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on all the aggregators for your audio fix. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can find me and B. Foster. Just type in Bleachers and Speakers, FFSN in your search. Make sure you download those episodes. And just check us out, man. Just check us out. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel. We also have Corner to Copa on YouTube, and we also have Midwest Ciphers. We have a bunch of new stuff on Midwest Ciphers that's been going pretty well. Foster, it's been a while. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm excited. We back with a full show that's just strictly lines. I love the Who Will Be King every Wednesday, but it's nice to be able to fully focus in on our particular squad.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Tim over there and Running Through the Jungle. Was it Running Through the Jungle or Running with the Jungle? I'm not sure, but that's definitely a good channel for the Bengals. We cool with Bengals fans, man. We, you know what I'm saying? They're not our ops, man. So we can enjoy that content. We can enjoy any content, but still. Shout out to my boy Tim. He's always here and supporting. We haven't sat down and done a Lions show. Me and Foster are off today, so that's why you see us here on a Friday, right? I've been working like crazy. My hours vary. It's just and it's Running Through the Jungle. My fault. And for that Bengals podcast with my boy Tim. I've been working crazy hours, but Foster has been holding it down. So I salute you, Foster, for staying with the stuff and, and keeping us current in these YouTube streets and these this podcast game. But we're here today. We are here today. I don't know whether I don't know what to say about some of these comments. A couple of them, not Tim, but Anyway, we are going here today because it is the off season. Unfortunately for us, it's been off season for a little while, and we got to get the emotions in check and all this other stuff. I don't know who this is. Anyway,
you gotta fight through it.
You know what? This is what we got to do because this is like. It's there we go.
It's the vertical feed. You get a little extra.
Yeah. Let's see. With the off season, we have a time to reflect. The emotions are gone. We're no longer disappointed. It is what it is. Me and Foster wanted to look at the past draft picks, and we didn't want to go back 10 years. We wanted to go back about 5 years. So today's show is focusing on the last 5 drafts from the Detroit Lions. And Foster, I don't know how you want to do it. Wow.
Yeah.
How you want to
So first and foremost, I want to emphasize that a strong draft class can be very beneficial to you in many different ways. One, in the sense that it's going to keep your payroll down, especially when you can get production out of guys that are on a rookie scale deal. So it's something that Brad Holmes has hung his hat on, and we're going to get an opportunity to really look at how he's done. And obviously, as years move on, you get the real evaluation. In your first full season of a draft class, it can go one of many different ways because you're dealing with guys that are, fresh and brand new. So over time, the draft classes can age in a varied of different ways. But ultimately, we're definitely going to look at which guys have panned out, which ones we've extended to big deals, because you're going to see that amongst the last 5 years. But I'm going to share my screen here, and we're just going to go just right, go straight up the list. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Foster with the production credit today.
That's right. So did you grade? So did you give a letter grade for every for every class, or how did you do? Because I have a letter grade.
I did not.
Okay.
I did pay attention. I did look at going back to 2021. I did look at the entire draft, and I have a lot to say.
Can you do a letter grade on the fly?
I can do a letter grade. I can do a letter grade on the fly.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with my letter grade for 2021, because that's where we start.
Okay. Let me ask you this before you say your letter grade.
Yeah.
Are you grading this as far as the players that they are today, no matter where they are, or the grade has everything to do with just as the Lions have picked?
Well, Lions, because if they're not with the Lions right now, they probably didn't pan out with us.
Okay, let me give you an example. We were both high on Iffy. Iffy left.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change the way you view the Lions draft, or was that just a good player that just left?
I graded upon how his 3 years or 4 years of production in Detroit. I grade that, take that into consideration.
Good. Okay, that helps me. Okay, let's get to it.
So my grade is A-, and that is because we got 2 All-Pros out of this list, and I think 4 starters. You got Sewell, McNeil, Brown, and Barnes. Those are all starters, and and you obviously got great value out of a 4th round pick in Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think this was a damn good draft.
I have to agree. I want to say A. I mean, I even want to go a little higher, because if you look at it overall, you got Penei Sewell, McNeil. Iffy was great when he was here. Not great, but Iffy was good when he was here.
Iffy was iffy, if we're being real.
Yeah. I mean, but he was one of those players that was, by the end of his career here, he was a dependable player. That's when he was on the field. Amon-Ra St. Brown, can't say enough about him. Derek Barnes. Now, how much do you expect from a 7th round draft pick from a running back position? You shouldn't, right? At that point, you're drafting not for need, but best available.
And he hung around for a few years. I don't know when he actually left, but he was he was on the team for a while.
So looking overall, the one you could take back is the number 2 Levi Onwuzurike pick. I mean, that was one of those that just didn't work out for you. Just didn't work out. But if you tell me 2 out of the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you tell me 2 out of 6 wouldn't work, I'm cool with that. So I'll give it an A.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the next one. That one was pretty good. A was a solid. When did Brad Holmes become the GM? Do you have that information? Do you know that? 2021, I think.
That's his first year?
Yeah, this is Jared Goff's first year, because he came over because he was with the Rams.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he came over the same year that Jared Goff got here, if I'm not mistaken, which is, I believe, 2021. I don't think he drafted Jeff Okudah, just to give you some.
Because that was definitely going to be a knock on Brad if he did. But anyway, that's for him to be in if that's his first year, as you stated, that's a home run draft for Brad Holmes.
Right, and this is what kind of started that reputation right there. Not a bad grade out the gate. Now for the grade for 2022, I gave another A minus. So you got Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, he got his extension. He's an all-pro. You traded up for Jamison Williams, which has aged a lot better over time, like we talked about. Probably wasn't a high grade in 2023 that if you would have did the grades, but he has turned into a solid number 2 receiver. He's got 2 straight years of 1,000 yards receiving. Definitely some misses here. Josh Pascal in the second round, he's been didn't play at all last year, didn't play a single snap, but you did get great value. Another all-pro in Kirby Joseph, who's was extended this past summer, and we're hoping that he makes a turnaround season. Mitchell, who played for a while, he was kind of a depth tight end type guy. Got good value from Malcolm Rodriguez in the late rounds, in the 6th round. He was a starter as a rookie, or he was definitely in the rotation. And then once you get to the end, Chase Lucas didn't really do too much, and James Houston off and on, but 6th round pick. So all in all, the big hits were early on. Hutch, JMO, Kirby in the 3rd, and Malcolm was solid. What are your grades?
B plus.
Okay.
And I say that because of the 2nd round miss with Josh, James Mitchell, and like you said, the 6th and the 7th round picks. What are you expecting, right? Malcolm Rodriguez is a solid contributor. James Houston, first year he was pretty good, and then he kind of tailed off, and he's doing very well for Dallas right now. Chase Lucas, what do you expect out of your 7th round draft pick?
He's still around. I still see him on the sideline. I cannot remember what team he played for, but he's still in the league though.
Let me answer this. Jack said we're limiting this to the last 5 drafts because the line. Yeah. No, we're talking about this because we're talking about the direction of the Lions right now. If you go back too much further, a lot of those guys aren't on the team anymore.
That's true.
That's why we're going back 5.
That's our homie from Battle Rap. I think you've seen Jack. You may not know him though.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just answering the question because.
No. I'm just.
That's why we only went back 5 years. It had nothing to do with being a great draft, because there's some drafts coming forth that I don't like. So, it's some bad grades closer to the present. So it's not because of past drafts. It's just we're dealing with the team that's going forward, because basically we're disappointed with how the Lions have played this year, and we're just trying to figure out, not figure out, but kind of assess why. And if you go back 5 draft picks, that'll pretty much give you a good placement of who's on the team and going forward, the outlook of it. So,
all right, you said B plus, right?
B plus.
All right, let's get to 2023. Now I must have been feeling real optimistic because these grades are pretty. I gave this one an A plus.
I don't give it an A plus, but go ahead.
So out of this draft, we got 4 current starters. Jack Campbell was he the best linebacker in football? He's definitely an all-pro this year. In a top 5.
Hold on, Foss. Now, you know me. I was not a fan of this Jack Campbell pick.
Right.
It turned out to be better than what I expected. And
better
than
way beyond.
Okay, I mean, if you want to make me look even that much more wrong, then.
But that's the importance of the years aging. Yes. Out the gate, it even after his first year, maybe it didn't necessarily come into fruition. But but over time things have progressed.
And
So
let's keep it a buck. I didn't like Jahmyr Gibbs' pick. I didn't like the Campbell pick. I did like the Laporta pick. The only pick I liked in this draft initially was Brian Branch.
right. So out of this,
that's why I'm not the GM.
So out of this draft, I think the top 4 all have made a Pro Bowl. I think Brian Branch made the Pro Bowl last year, at least went to the Pro Bowl last year. But yeah, so Jahmyr Gibbs, several times Pro Bowl, top 5 running back, Jack Campbell, top 5 linebacker, Sam Laporta as a rookie definitely went to the Pro Bowl, and he's had some injuries the last few years, but damn good. Brian Branch, Pro Bowl. Now, when you get to the bottom,
now here we go.
When we get to the bottom, to the lower, the lesser.
Here comes the crap. Here comes the crap.
So yeah, so Hendon Hooker no longer on the team. Broderick Martin no longer on the team. Kobe Sorsdale, I don't know if he's on the team. And it's 7th round. Huh?
Kobe Sorsdale was here this year.
Right. But he didn't really play, I don't think. And then Antoine Green, 7th round pick. I think that was probably one of the last picks in the entire draft. Obviously, he's not on the team. So I guess it definitely comes down to how much weight you put into the back end, because the top portion is, leaps and bounds. Like I think you put more weight on the top half than what happens at the end. But obviously the major failure was Hendon Hooker, and then trading up for Broderick Martin in 3rd round, which is usually pretty good value. That did not age well. So yeah, definitely not an A+. I don't know what I was on, but what do you feel the grades are?
I give it an A because of Jahmyr Gibbs' production, because of the production of Jahmyr Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, and Branch. You have to give it an A. To come out a draft with those 4 picks, you can't ask for, too much more than that. Come on. You got to give it an A for those.
I would venture to say that obviously Bijan Robinson came out of that draft. And obviously at 12, he wasn't.
Bijan Robinson was going in like 8 or 9 or something like that. He was the first running back taken.
Yeah. So when you take that into consideration, I think we got the best players at their position. I would venture to say that there's no better linebacker than Jack Campbell right now that was drafted that year. Maybe there was one, and there's no better tight end either. So, and probably no better safety. So you definitely, out of your top 4 picks, got the best available guy. I think you can flip a coin on Bijan. Bijan's maybe a little better, but Jahmyr Gibbs is 1A, 1B with Bijan Robinson. So
before we go into the next draft, let's take a quick break.
Yeah, go ahead.
And if you're listening, you're going to hear some ads. If you're watching, give us about 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Make sure you subscribe to Midwest Ciphers on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Corner to the Copa, and make sure you subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube, man. It doesn't take a second, but to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. All right.
2024. So as I kind of reiterate, I kind of talked about earlier, these are the more recent ones. Gibbs is 2. Okay, fair enough. That's fair. Gibbs definitely. So Tim Lyon says Gibbs is a solid number 2, or a clear number 2. He said because Robinson is more consistent than Gibbs, and he did have a couple stinkers. I think some of that was due to this offensive line, but I mean Bijan plays for the Falcons, so probably a lesser than offensive line that he's working with. So. Exactly. Robinson is on a shit team. You're right. So yeah.
Okay. For those who think we only went back 5 years because it was a bad draft, this goes back 2 years. Bad draft.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has the potential to change over time. Obviously, we got a little when you go back to 2021, we got a lot more time for that to stew and develop. But yeah, out the gate, our current CB2, Terrion Arnold, that has not formulated well so far. So that's actually probably our top pick. Not only is it the first pick, it's probably our most productive pick. And it's Ricky Straw, who has not played, who has had maybe 1 or 2 snaps in the actual regular season game. Giu Manu, still a developmental player. Sione Vaki, who I think is technically a running back, although he's been good on the he hasn't got many snaps in regular season games as an actual running back. He's mostly been a special teams guy, a very good, a good special teams guy, but he has not cracked the rotation as a running back as of yet. Makai Wingo, I think he played a couple games, was out for the season, and then he has been the back end of the rotation as a defensive lineman. And then you got Christian Mahogany, who got his first opportunity to start this year, missed a bunch of games, and still developing. So I gave it a grade, and this may be generous, actually. I don't know why I was grading on a curve or something. We do have 2 starters out of this draft class because I considered, Mahogany wasn't a starter, which is decent value from your 6th round pick. But and then also Terrion Arnold, who missed most of last season. But I gave it a C-. But now that I look at it, that may be a little generous. But what do you think?
I was thinking D+, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, we have one proven starter out of this whole draft. Christian Mahogany is a starter by default.
Yeah.
He didn't earn it. It just that's what we had. Now, if you look at Terrion Arnold at the first pick, and you look at Christian Mahogany at your 6th round pick, between those 2 are your best picks of that draft. That sucks. If the best pick of your draft is between your 1st round choice and your 6th round choice, it's just not a good recipe for a successful draft. Christian Mahogany, he's been thrown into the fire just because of, who we have on the roster. He's been forced to play, and he played through some injuries. He wasn't the best this year. It's his 2nd year this year. Hopefully he gets better. Terrion Arnold, injury plagued season. It was supposed to be a breakout season, and it just didn't work out for him. But while he was there, he was dependable. Still a little touchy grabby out there, but Enos Rakeshaw, incomplete. Giovanni Manu, incomplete. Sione Vaki, he's a special teamer. Wingo, just disappointed in him. So I would say D+. D+.
Yeah. So the theme of this one, some might say that Terrion Arnold is a starter by default, but we won't dig into that too much.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there. The reason why I say he's not a starter by default, because we had corners when he got here. We had Davis, and he earned a start. We had Amik Robinson, and he earned a start over him. He's the starters that were there, like even last year.
Davis was on the other side, though. So
I mean, but if you're not cutting the mustard, he's not going to play. There was cornerbacks in competition. It wasn't by default. He was, and you saw when he didn't play what was happening.
Yeah.
So I think he earned it. I think he just needs to improve, and he couldn't improve because of injuries this year. He wasn't able to show who he was. So
Yeah. There's also less picks than I feel like when I got to this one, there was.
I mean, that was because of the years prior where you give up this and you give up that to, you know what I'm saying? You traded away draft picks so you can get a Jahmyr Gibbs. You traded away draft picks so you can get a Broderick Martin. It was dumb at times, but this is the price you pay.
Mm-hmm. You gotta take chances. It didn't pan out. I think that there's still a little bit of potential left in this. Yeah, I think there's still a little potential in this because you got guys that have missed a lot of time with injury over the last 2 years. Straw, of course. Not holding my breath on him, but if he can stay healthy, I'd be curious to see how he looked. And yeah, Mekhi Wingo missed a full year, pretty much a full year, his rookie season. But so he may or may not be who he is. But we'll see how Terrion Arnold is next year when he returns and is fully healthy. All right, so we only got one draft left. This is the most recent one.
Okay.
And I gave it a grade. I gave it a grade of a C+.
Not something like that.
Oh, before I go into my rationale, what was your grade?
I said C-, and I was tinkering towards a D. I was not impressed with the initial pick of Tyleik Williams. I was not impressed with his play during the season. And so there's that. That's your first round draft pick. Just when it starts off like that, the grade is not going to be, good by no means. Tate Ratledge, good pick. He will be okay. Tesla, good pick. He'll be okay. Frazier was hurt most of the year, but I think he'll be okay. This pick, we wanted this rush end, this defensive end pick a little sooner, but instead we take I can't pronounce his last name, but we take him in the 6th round. Didn't play a snap. Dan Jackson didn't play a snap. Dominic Levitt could be something. He's a speedy player, but 7th round, what do you expect out of a 7th round draft pick? But overall, C- because of the future you could have with Rutledge, Tesla, and I might even and Frazier. Tyleik Williams, he got to tighten up.
Yeah. So I think my part of my evaluation was taking into consideration that it has only been 1 year. It definitely hurt that Frazier was out pretty much the entire year. Hassanin didn't play a snap, and Dan Jackson was hurt the entire year. So you scratch that off the list right there. Dominic Levitt, 7th round pick, is what it is. Yeah. When you get to the top, Isaac Tesla has tons of potential. When you really think about it, he played only 1 year of Division I football. He had like 6 touchdowns last season. He has the potential to be the number 3 receiver for the foreseeable future. While he may not have a whole bunch more touchdowns next year, I think you're going to see him get a lot more touches next year. So I think that you've truly solidified things with drafting him. And this is somebody that we drafted up and kind of reached for at the time. I don't think it's considered a reach at this point anymore. Tate Ratledge, you definitely have an interior offensive lineman for the future, for the foreseeable future. He was thrown into the fire day one, and another guy that we traded up for to get our guy. And I think that we didn't miss at all with that pick. Now, as far as Tyleik Williams, mediocre. It was mediocre. I think that it was mediocre. It was a late 1st round pick. And it was a late 1st round pick, and he was available. He played every single game last year, which is big. especially when you consider how some of these guys didn't play a single snap. He was available. I don't think he was on the injury report all year, which is kind of crazy for an interior defensive lineman. But, he's not going to have sexy stats. He's a guy that's, basically essentially supposed to take up space. He's not going to have a whole bunch of sacks and stuff like that. So I'll still wait out on that pick, but I think he's all right. He started. Not only did he play every game, I want to say he started every game, and he had to play the role replacing Lee McNeil until he returned. He was alongside DJ Reader, and now he's going to be taking over DJ Reader's spot next year, because I don't think that we bring him back. So I think it's to be continued on that, but I'm not mad at anybody when you look at the bottom half and saw that you didn't get any production really. I'm not mad at anybody taking that into consideration.
Yeah, and that's my thing. No production out of that bottom half. Miles Frazier, I think he has the potential to be good. I mean, and then we're working off potential, right? Going forward, especially with Talik Williams and Tate, I think there's going to be a situation where he could possibly be your center next year, depending upon, how the offseason goes. And once again, he'll be thrown into the fire if that's the case, because, he played guard all season. He played right guard. So we'll see how this goes. Looking at it, Foster, overall, the past 5 years, do you want to put a grade on the past 5 years?
As a whole?
As a whole.
I'll go solid B.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of their B, because of the good that they got out of it. When the good picks are phenomenal picks. Like, they're all pros the past 5 years. If it was a good pick, they're all pros. And not everybody can have that draft. Tim, what did Tim say? I pay attention to what Tim said. I wish I could have y'all look at our draft. I'm just mad at our last 5 years besides Joe, Jamar, T, and Brown. Hey, Tim, we can do that. Set it up. Let's talk about it. We can do the same thing on your show.
What, compare between the two?
No, he just wants us to look at his draft, the Bengals draft.
Oh.
We definitely could.
We could. It'd be tough because we don't watch them on a day in and a day out basis. So we know names though. We know names, but notice how he didn't know who Iffy was. The only way you know Iffy is if you're a Lions fan, I think.
That's true.
You really, other than that, you're just kind of looking at stats, which doesn't always tell the full story sometimes, but yeah.
Okay. My job's calling. Oh my God. Okay. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but between the 2024 and 2025 draft, I actually have more hope for the 2025 draft to age a little better, because we will, get an opportunity to see Dan Jackson and who else? Dan Jackson, Ahmed Hassanin, who was pretty much a project type player that actually looked really good in the preseason. So it's kind of unfortunate that he had that shoulder injury. But yeah, we got a couple of guys that had the potential to, get even Dominic Levet. He just kind of had drop issues in the preseason. I think that he could still pan out as well. So yeah, I think there's still some opportunity for them for that particular draft to age better. But yeah, I think we got off to a really good start in the first three drafts. I think one of them I said A-. I think for one, you said A when I said A minus, and for one I said A minus, you said B plus. So up until that point, we were flirting with B plus A minus range. So
Right.
yeah, it certainly fell off, but I think you just got to give the next, give it time, because injuries, which in the game of football is going to happen, injuries did play a factor.
Oh, I get it, Tim.
He wants to using my optimism will boost his grades.
I remember I'm looking, but I'm thinking about it like with Jamar Chase, Joe, and Higgins. I mean, man, those are some good picks the past 5 years. I tell you that. Dax Hill. I mean, it's not all bad. Can't be all bad. But anyway, Foster, what is your outlook on the direction of the 2026 draft? What would you like to see? Now, you don't have to say names. You could say positions of need, things you'd like to be addressed in the draft. I don't even know how many picks we got because we do so many dealings. I'm not sure if we have a 3rd round draft this year. I don't know.
Well, okay, yeah. So I definitely don't have names, as you probably know.
No,
but,
we don't need names. Just positions is fine.
But yeah, definitely offensive line. As I look now, the last 2 drafts we drafted 2 offensive linemen apiece in those drafts, including early on with Tate Ratledge. But I think that's something that we need to continue to address. Yeah, I think it's something that we need to continue to address. Outside of that, notice we haven't drafted a linebacker in how many years?
Ooh. Derek Barnes.
Jack. Oh, so I guess no.
Jack. Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, Jack was the last linebacker we took. So we hit on that one. That was back in 2023. And then before Jack, it was Rodrigo. So we definitely, we definitely land when we go after him. I think
Derek Barnes in 2021, right?
Yeah, and then Derek Barnes in 2021. So it hasn't been a point of emphasis, but it's definitely time to do that. I think that we can steer clear of the receiver. We always kind of address that. I think we are super solid 1 through 3, and then of course we're solid 1 through 3, and then we should have from within the ability to fill that role. I'm not mad at getting another edge rusher. Obviously, we have a guy that's essentially a rookie in Hassanin coming in next year. And then, we'll have to figure out the Muhammad situation too, because he's due for a raise. And then, other than that, I'm not mad at us getting some more help in the secondary, whether it's a corner or safety. Probably more so corner, because we can't look past corner at this point, because we may or may not bring Amik Robertson back. And then you got Ennis Rekistra, who you got to put some pressure on, because this is do or die for him. So what do you want to say?
Drafting a corner.
Yeah, you got to.
Do we have to?
I'm not saying early per se, but you can't go through 7 picks or whatever it is and just not address it.
I just rather address it in free agency.
That's going to cost you. If you want a starter, it's going to cost you.
I mean,
because Gibbs and Campbell have to be paid this year, 100%.
Okay, you don't.
We can bring in another Amik Robertson if you want to.
Oh, we could draft another Rekishaw.
Yeah, but you can't bank on we're gonna draft another guy that's gonna miss the last 2 seasons.
Here's why I said what I said. you drafted you addressed the cornerback position by drafting, right? Before you drafted Terrion Arnold first pick, and you went and got Raker Shaw, right? Now, how has that worked?
I mean, you can't. So you're basically saying that because we missed essentially on both of those guys.
Go back further if you like. Jeff Okudah.
I get that. We've tried to address the cornerback position via free agency. DJ Reed. I mean, DJ Reed. Wasn't great. Carlton Davis was pretty good though.
It was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
I mean, if you can get someone the price range like you did with Carlton Davis, but that was a trade. So if you can do something like that in the offseason and get someone like, around that price range that can play better than you would a rookie, then I would be more set. I mean, there's so many things I think you could go with this draft because I think you definitely need to go left tackle because I don't think Decker's going to be there.
Yeah.
You have to address that. You have to decide what you're going to do up front because that's where we were miserable last year. We hang our hats on our offense, and you can't do that with a weak interior offensive line. I read somewhere that there was a center in free agency that wants $17 million a year.
Yeah, it's the Ravens guy. It's probably Lindenbaum or whatever.
So it's like, bro, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you have to address that front, that interior offensive line, because what you have is you have a quarterback in Goff where if you don't protect him or if you're not able to run the ball, he's not going to be able to help you. Now, I'm saying you can win with Goff. You just have to do the things that he needs to be successful. You got to protect him and be able to run the ball. If you can protect him and you can run the ball, his accuracy, his decision-making will move the ball. He's just not mobile, and you have to protect him and you have to be stout up front. That's it. So you have to address that. I also still think you have to address that linebacker position and the opposite end. Now, Muhammad's going to be asking for some money. Do you pay it or do you draft it?
If you're hoping to replace Muhammad through the draft, you got to draft early.
You got to draft early, and it's so many variables. Do you draft tackle, defensive end, or corner first?
Tackle, 100%.
100% tackle.
Offensive line first. Maybe not specific. Maybe not specifically tackle, but because if Decker comes back, you kind of wasted that pick.
You're talking left tackle though. Okay, let's say, because to me, Decker didn't have a very good year. And I think you have to address it either way it goes, whether he stays or goes, you're going to have to address it. But like I said, if you look
and you see Decker coming off, can you see him being a backup next year?
No, I see him being a groomer next year. If he comes back, like whoever they draft is going to be his understudy.
Would it be a waste if you drafted first round tackle?
No. That's not what I'm saying. It has to be addressed, right?
All right.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't say you have to pick. If you're going to keep Decker, you have to pick a left tackle first. No, of course you don't do that. But it better be someone with very good potential. If you're going to keep Decker, and you still have to address that left tackle going forward, because he hasn't held up on his end of the bargain of being healthy the whole year.
Yeah.
Either way, you have to address that left tackle position regardless, whether it's to this upcoming year or the future. It has to be addressed. But there's, like I said, outside linebacker, because I don't think we're going to have Anzalone next year. you have Derek Barnes and you have
Rodriguez.
Jack Campbell. I don't know. Rodriguez is. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think he's a starter. I was just throwing out who's here right now.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what direction. There's a lot of needs. Did Decker play that bad Yeah, in my opinion, he wasn't.
Yeah, wasn't great.
He wasn't great at all. I don't want to say he played that bad, but Tim, you have a player in Decker who's saying he's contemplating retirement, but he's not sure.
We've been down that road before.
Now with Frank Ragnow just abruptly retiring. When someone talks retirement and that's your left tackle is your bookend, do you not look at that position? Kind of crazy. So
he took 894 snaps last year, only 5 penalties, only allowed 2 sacks. I mean, the PFF numbers grayed out decent, but how many games did he miss? Did he miss any games, or did he play the entire season?
He missed a couple of games for sure.
Couple, okay, still a lot of snaps, but yeah. So, not a terrible. I mean, 67 is not terrible. Obviously not elite, but
he's not the Taylor Decker of old.
No, definitely not. So okay, so if it was up to you, what position specifically do we draft first round? Is it tackle? Is it tackle?
That's a question I can't answer.
Oh, you can't answer? Yeah.
That's why I say, I question whether you address the corner first. Do you address the tackle position? Do you? It's so many questions because of you don't know what you have in Taylor Decker.
So you're ready to move. So are you ready to move Arnold into the slot?
Who?
Terrion Arnold into the slot.
No.
Because obviously DJ Reed 100% is your other outside corner no matter what.
When it comes to that corner position, you're gonna have to the Lions are gonna have to come up with what are they going to do. Is DJ Reed and Terrion Arnold your starters? Yeah. If they believe in that, then you don't worry about corner in the draft. You don't. You hope Rakeshaw pans out and is healthy, and that's your backup.
I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to do that, but
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, if these if you're content with Terrion Arnold and DJ Reed as your starting corners, you have no business drafting a corner in the draft
at all.
So that's something the Lions, GM Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have to decide, and the defensive coordinator. Are you good with those two?
Yeah. Well, Tim said
you also have to look at Taylor Decker. What's going on? Is he going to play? Will he be, I mean, sometimes these players just need an off season to figure out what's going on with their body and what's going on with their mental. Right? And it seems like when you interview Taylor Decker, he's crying, talking about retirement and his kids and this, that, and other, and salute to him. That's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if he's going to play, you know what I'm saying? You want to know how invested is your heart in this? And that's between him and the Lions management.
Yeah. And I think the tricky thing about it is you're not going to have a definitive answer,
no.
I don't think, by April, but depending on what direction they go, you'll know where the Lions stand with, or, what their opinion is on it. Because if he takes a tackle, if we take a tackle in the first 2 rounds, that's going to say a lot to me about what they think his future is, whether it's a longer term future or a short one. And
I'll throw out another scenario, Foster. you're going to be without Brian Branch for a big part of the season. You might have to address that safety position.
That's a good point.
It's so many things that's going on. Like, we have a good core team, but at the same time, there's some stuff that needs to be addressed.
I like the guys that we had that stepped in though, between Avonte Maddox, Harper, and who came from the Raiders? Was that Harper? We got one guy from the Raiders and one guy from the Jaguars, but they all were good.
So you have to decide on who's going to be your starting safety until Branch gets back. Well, I don't know the seriousness of Kirby Joseph. I don't know how serious his injury was. It wasn't a torn ACL or anything, and he was working out on his knee, so maybe he just needed the rest and should be back next season. Maybe he needs a off season of rest, or maybe they need to clean up some stuff in there, do some kind of arthroscopic surgery or whatever. But he was just you lost you didn't have Kirby for majority of the year, and you lost Brian Branch during a crucial stretch of the year. So, that safety position, you might have to address that. But I know definitely you have to address the linebacker position. You have to decide what you're going to do at corner. You have to decide what you're going to do at left tackle. And that other side of Hutch. What are you going to do?
Got to find a center if it ain't Tate.
I mean, that and that. Yeah. So it's a lot of things draft wise you have to, and free agent wise, you have to figure out what you're going to do. It's not just, in the years past where you say, okay, we need this and we need that and we're good. Right? We said that the year before and the year before that. Just a couple pieces and then we're good. Now we got some questions.
Well, yeah, that's loaded. But we'll certainly touch on that in the upcoming, draft coverage.
Let's do this, right? Put a bow on this, Foster, and we're gonna come right back with a Pistons show. So put a bow on this, and let's get out of here and we work on this Pistons show because we got some stuff to talk about there. So last night.
Yes, I think we set the groundwork for what we will be covering and having to work through with this upcoming draft coverage. I think that the more that we think about it, the more that, the more work that is to be done draft wise. But, based upon our evaluation, Brad Holmes does a pretty decent job. He's had some misses throughout all the years, but he's hit on enough, he's hit on enough picks to where, there should be some level of confidence that he can make some things happen this year. So once we figure out what picks that we do have this year, because I know we traded up and gave some away, obviously, we'll have a better idea of what we have ahead of us. But yeah.
Okay. Well, here's where we are with as far as the roster and the draft. The Lions have their work cut out for them. I think definitely this is a very, very important offseason, and it's going to be fun to watch and very interesting to watch, to say the least. Foster, it was great having this show. I think we had a good show. It was very productive. We got a whole off season to talk. We'll talk more. And for those who are watching, make sure you subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Midwest Ciphers. Make sure you subscribe to Corner to Copa on YouTube. Make sure you check us out on all the aggregators. It's anywhere you can listen to a podcast. You can find us. We're out of here, man. We'll be right back at around 11 o'clock with a Pistons show. We're going to be talking Detroit Pistons. And, yeah, I am mad Dylan Brooks got crazy with us last night. Yeah.
Real crazy.
We're going to talk about it. But Make sure you subscribe to those YouTube channels, and thank you for watching. Subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube.
Get your lick back. If a nugget gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back.